Welcome back. In this video, we're going to take a look at your business culture and HR systems on the My SME Manual. And the goal of this video is to help you set up your business culture and HR systems to build your team. So let's jump over to the My SME Manual. We're at 5.5. And firstly, we're going to take a look at your business laws. So when you look at your business laws, we've got my suggestions will be you implement the law of leadership, the law of unity, and the law of seed time and harvest. Leadership is the concept of transferring leadership from your shoulders to your employees' shoulders to give them access and or rather to give them the opportunity to make decisions, but also keep them accountable for those decisions, and that will escalate their leadership. The second law is the law of unity. Where there's unity, there's blessing, there's focus, there's teamwork. Everybody focuses on the vision, but when there's a lack of unity, there's division, and that means you're dividing the vision in your business. Once the vision's divided, you can't really accomplish the vision. Right, and next, seed time and harvest. Seed time and harvest, very important. What's three forms of seed that you can implement in your business is the time, where and how do you spend your time. Number two, your money, where and how do you invest into your business. And number three, your employees, how do you support them, how do you grow them, how do you take them to another level. Right, if you agree with these laws, or if you've got different laws, you're welcome to add them here. Now what you want to do is you want to sign, because you want to keep yourself accountable for your business culture and what you want to accomplish within the culture. And luckily I have my signature on my laptop, so I'm just gonna sign it like that and take this yellow away. Right, there you go. So I'm happy with this. I'll just decrease it a bit, and there we go. So I've signed for my laws. I'm now accountable to that. And secondly, business principles. You've got moral ethics, accountability, quality product services, honor your creditors, treat people fairly. I'm going to sign for this also. Again, you're welcome to change that, but I suggest this is like a good rule of thumb to an ethical business culture. And lastly, your business etiquette. Remember, it's a business. There's going to be conflict. People will have things to say. There's going to be some intense conversations, etc. You want to make sure that people understand the rules of your business. And ultimately, what you're doing here, if you've got a proper business culture, is you creating a new playing field with a new set of rules. Because especially, let's take, for example, my business. We've got a very diverse team, people from all backgrounds in South Africa. And because everybody's got a different diverse background and it's a different culture, there's different rules that apply to the cultures. That means if I address something in my culture and your culture doesn't agree, we're going to miss each other totally, and that's going to bring division. But if I can create an honest, ethical, rock solid business culture that's not applicable on culture, people culture, or heritage, but it's applicable on how to run a successful business, we all need to adhere to those rules. Even the owner of the business, you're not above the law then. By the way, they're going to look at you firstly and see if you actually keep the culture or not. But ultimately now you've got that playing field, and you've got the different set of rules, and all the people need to apply to these rules, and they're not heritage based. They are successful business based. And that's where you suddenly speak the same language regardless of the culture or the heritage you're from. Right, now, when you've got that in place, you want to set up the right recruitment system. And I've got a 5-step process here on appointing the correct people. Step number 1, you've got to create an ad. So you'll see this is a template, and you can just populate the red. So you've got your name. Let's say, for instance, Formal Shoe is hiring. So I'm going to say, Formal Shoe is hiring. Just make that letters then correct. Turn them black. There we go. Okay, Formal Shoe is hiring. We have a, let's say, consultant position available at consisting of let's say I'm going to say sales, admin, and door greeter, for instance. Right, so that is the responsibility. Just make sure your grammar and everything is correct. Okay, job specs, what's the position? We're going to say shoe consultant for argument's sake. Work time 8 to 5 in shop. Alright, so that's going to be my working hours. I'm going to give the address. We're going to say, let's say we say Tiger Valley Mall, Belleville, starting date, etc. You populate everything as you will do the job. And what's very important here is you want to be fully transparent. The last thing you want to do is promise something in your job ad and in your interview and you do not deliver on that. That's the last thing you want to do. Be very honest, be very authentic, and set the expectation from the start. Then have your personality specs. What are you looking for in the person? Make sure you populate that, post the job. I personally prefer LinkedIn. I've had some very good results on LinkedIn by posting ads. It costs me about, let's say, 500 to 750 Rand to get probably 50 applications in. And then what I do to sift those applications is I give the people an email instruction. So I tell them to write me an introduction letter. I give very specific questions that I want to see in your introduction letter. I want you to attach your CV to that and send it to me by a deadline. Now, as simple or tedious as this may seem, I get 50 applications in for that job. I can't afford to do 50 interviews. It's going to absolutely break my soul. So I want to see who's really serious about the job or who just applied for a quick change and maybe a quick buck. And now what I do is I start the process of filtering the 50 applications to see who's really serious. Right, now I can tell you a lot of stories about this, but ultimately you test three things. Number one, can the person follow instructions? That's the first thing you test. Can they answer and follow simple instructions? The second thing you test, can they stick to a deadline? All right, can they stick to a deadline? If they can't send you an application for a job on time, the chances are good that they will not show up to work on time. And number three, this is quite an effort. Nobody's going to write this if they're not serious. So the people that's not serious about the job won't even reply to this. Eventually, I promise you, this process takes your applications from 50 to probably 15. Okay, so 35 people never come back to you because they never really wanted the job. From those 15 people, I guarantee you probably 8 of the intro letters is going to be really poor quality. And there you see the person didn't really do any effort. They didn't follow any instructions. So it's not a good candidate. So of the 7 left, I'm going to schedule an interview. That's my step 3. I'm going to schedule an interview. And on the interview, I'm going to also be very specific and transparent and honest. It's 30 minutes. I'm going to work with your introduction letter, not the normal interview style. I'm going to focus on your introduction letter. The reason why this is important, that person comes to you and they've already watched 50 videos on YouTube on how to do the perfect interview. So you don't really get a feel of the right or the real person here that's sitting in front of you. It's more somebody that just answers correctly to get the job. So what I want to do is I want to throw your apple cart over, which means my interview is totally different than what you're going to get out there. I'm asking you questions on your answers on your intro letter. For instance, I see you mentioned XYZ as your life vision. Why did you do that? Or I see that you say your skill set is XYZ. Give me an example. I see you motivate your application in this way. Why? And summarizing yourself. Why did you do that? I promise you, people are thrown off totally by these questions because it's not something they expect. Suddenly, they're under a bit more pressure and they They have to think on the spot now, and then you get a real feel of the person on the other side. And now you can make a much better assessment if it's going to be a good employee or not. Right, just a couple of things that I think is very important in an interview. You have to be honest in terms of the spiritual beliefs. For instance, in my business, we apply Christian principles. So I'm very honest about that when I interview people, and I say, this is it. If you don't like it, then it's probably not a good fit for you. But if you don't have a problem with that, that's fine. So that for me is one thing that's very important in today's day and age. And also salary expectation, massive. Don't lie to the employee. If it's a very talented person, they're going to catch you out and they're going to leave your business quicker than you can say quick. Don't lie. Be honest about the expectations and the realities of the job, and be honest about the pressure and the responsibilities. Okay, 3 very important things for your interview. That's in my opinion. Next, homework. If you're not sure, let's say 3 of the candidates were really good in the interview and you don't know which one to pick, then you give them a homework instruction. Again, if you're not serious about this job, you're not going to do it. After the homework instruction, give them a personality test called the references. If they submitted the homework on time, okay, when the references check out, you know, let's say 2 people come back with the homework and you call both references, you do personality tests. Now you know the 2 people are fairly good fits. Okay, so you've got 2 people now, and you don't know which one to select because both of them has gone through the whole process. Your last step is your second interview. Okay, but there's a bit of a twist. Again, I'm throwing you totally off your game. You will never be prepared for my interviews. I let the person who comes in for the interview sit in the middle of my team, and then I disappear. It works like a charm, you wouldn't believe it. So what I would do, I would take this interview, or the second interview, I bring the person into the office, I take them to the team, I introduce them to everybody. It's quite a large office, and then I say, just sit here quick, I'll be back now, and then I disappear. What I'm doing is I'm sitting in my office and I'm listening. What's happening there? What's the interaction like? Are they getting along? Etc., etc. But I'm also giving my team an opportunity to check out this person for anything that I might have missed. And I promise you, I would have made a mistake or 2 if it wasn't for my team, because then they would tell me afterwards they didn't like this or this. That person was a much better fit in the team. Right, so that's just the process I take. Then I do my second interview and I negotiate the contract, sign the contract. 3-month probation, very, very important. Okay, because sometimes people are not who they seem to be in the beginning. You should know this by now. It shouldn't be rocket science. So at least a 3-month probation to see what the person can do. Okay, we're going to quickly jump over one more thing before I stop this video. You'll see that there's a link as well on how to manage the recruitment process. So if I go over to the sheet that I created, the system prototypes, you'll see there's a legal box HR and a legal box recruitment. Okay, so I'm going to just show you. Let's copy this over to your online course sheet. We're going to add it over here and say recruitment system. Okay, I'm going to copy it over, and it's very simple, nothing too difficult, but it's just to keep track of your recruitment process. In other words, the candidates that comes in, what date, name, age, email, number, nationality, etc., etc., and just take them through the process. The application letter, the interview, the homework, the references, and the interview. And when they get on this side and the candidate's good to go, there you go. And lastly, just keeping a bit of track in your HR department. I've got another system here that you can use, which is your HR management. As simple as that. And it consists of just a couple of notes on what you want to accomplish with your employees. It's the normal details up top. And then we have the position, the employment date, the contract, leave, sick days. Was there any warnings, disciplinaries, positives, negatives, etc., etc. There you have it in a nutshell. Now you've got your full scope of systems here at the bottom. You can do your financial projections. You can track your marketing. You can track your sales and your leads. You can track your operations. Make sure your compliance is in place. Doing your financials becomes easier. You've got your recruitment. And this is beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next video.